Today's topic of discussion is real love. So, if you look at today's society, right, both men and women, they all seem to be judging each other based off of superficial metrics. So, from the way they look like, status, money, career, and so on. So, let's say a man, right, he's looking at a woman based off of how, good looking she is or seems like she is, based off of external, so her face, her body, and so on, objectifying the women. And then the woman's looking at the man, right, based off of his money, based off of his status, based off of, height, good looks, all these kind of things here. Yeah. So this is what it is. The reality is those things there are superficial traits, which is leading to a lot of couples having miserable lives and miserable relationships. They haven't got that sense of, real love within them because it's all superficial things. So we're going to be discussing some key points to look out for what real love looks like. So first point is internal. So internal characteristics and internal traits. That right there stays with someone forever. Yeah, throughout the whole time period. So let's say a guy, right, he walks into a room, right, and then he approaches a girl. And he's somebody who's got money, he's got status, he's got all these different superficial metrics, yeah? He's got good looks, he's got height, he's got everything, yeah? And then he speaks to the woman, and then that woman's judging him based off of those things. And let's say they end up having a relationship together. So when they have a relationship together now, yeah, then she sees how this guy here starts to treat her badly, doesn't have no sense of humor, isn't able to influence people in the correct way. He's quite narcissistic. He's somebody who self-centered, you name it. Yeah. These kind of things, right? Negative emotions start coming out. Yeah. And then the woman starts to see what he's really like. So this is what it is. And then it's vice versa. Certain guys, right, what they'll do is they'll get into a relationship with a woman. Look at the woman. She looks, pretty from the outside. Get into a relationship with her. And then when he's coming home, that same woman's giving him headache, giving him drama. She's nagging him all the time. She's always, talking rubbish to him, disrespecting him. This is what's happening in society with a lot of couples. Yeah, they're not prioritizing internal traits and internal characteristics. Yeah, so what real love looks like. So I'm going to play this, 30-second clip for you guys of what real love looks like.
Suspect's more invested in the upkeep of her Sims household than she is of her actual household.
Suspect is on a groundbreaking medication that stops the progression of his disease, but he forgets to take it every other day.
Suspect genuinely thought Alaska was an island because of how it's often portrayed on maps. Yeah.
Suspect is so tiny, I sometimes lose track of him in bed.
I wasn't made for a king-size bed. Suspect would rather drive our car off of a cliff, massacring our entire family, than run over a squirrel. Or a leaf that looks like a squirrel.
I stand by that.
Suspect once published a real chapter in a real book claiming he was going to marry another woman, and they broke up before the book came out.
Suspect is almost 29 and still has Hannah Montana in her Spotify Wrapped every year.
Okay, so you guys are back, right? So that right there, right? That couple there, I'm telling you, when I saw that, it was literally beautiful. God's blessings is upon couples like that. Yeah. So you got a man, right, who's got a severe disability. He's not able to function on a day-to-day basis as, a person would want to. Yeah. He's not able to walk. Yeah. But then that woman's with him, right? And then that woman loves him for who he is as a person. Yeah. That in and of itself, it just shows you how that woman loves him for his internal qualities. Yeah, of how he makes her feel. So how she feels around him. Yeah. So that in and of itself, that's what matters in life. And I'm telling you, so I think they've been together for about 7 years or something. So there's couples like that who have been together for all these years, yeah. But then if you look at all these other couples who are judging each other based off of superficial metrics, they're getting divorced within months. I know certain couples, they end up spending like 50k, yeah, on the wedding, yeah. I remember this one couple spent like 40 grand, yeah, on their wedding, and then within a year they ended up going bust. They ended up divorcing. Yeah, it just shows you people are just looking at the external metrics, and this is why people are going wrong in life. You know, if you look at the internal metrics and the internal qualities of someone, right, that's where you find real love. That's what real love looks like. You know, so that leads us to the next point when it comes to hardships in life, right? You as a couple, yeah, whoever you're getting into a relationship with, you're going to go through hardships. You're going to go through trials, you're going to go through tribulations, you're going to go through, ups and downs. Yeah. And you want to be with somebody who values your internal qualities and somebody who values, you as a person. Because if you're going through hardships, which pretty much all couples will do at some points, you're going to need somebody who's willing to be with you during those moments. And it cannot be looked at the external superficial metrics. Yeah, because those superficial metrics come and go. Yeah, because let's say this, and here's an example, right? You got on a guy, yeah, who gets with a woman, who looks attractive. Let's say out of 10, she looks like 8 in terms of looks. Yeah, but then she gets into an accident, acid gets hit on her face, and then she doesn't look the same anymore. She looks completely different. Yeah, a lot of guys, what they'll do is when they've married a woman based off of just looking at her appearance, yeah, they'll end up wanting to leave her. But if a guy, right, literally marries that person for the internal traits and internal characteristics, he's going to stay with that person through the hardships. Yeah, because he married the person for who they are as a person, their soul, that's what it is. So you're looking at the internal side of it. Yeah, I'm not that type of guy to say, oh yeah, physical attraction doesn't matter. I'm not trying to say that. But I'm trying to say what men and women are doing wrong in today's society is they're putting more weighting on the external rather than internal characteristics. Because the internal is what makes a person. Because when they go through certain trials and tribulations, when they go through hardships, that's what's going to separate the people who break down in their relationships and the people who are successful. The people who are successful in their relationships, they're going to be able to go through them hardships, knowing full well they didn't judge their partners based off of superficial metrics only. They looked at the internal traits and internal characteristics. So next point is God. People are not prioritizing God, yeah, and doing things the correct way. Now, God has laid out the correct way of doing things when it comes to relationships, yeah, to have the most fulfilling relationships, yeah. God has laid it out from the Deen side of it. Yeah, the Deen has taught us the correct way to go about life through relationships. The problem is people are not following God's laws. Yeah, they're not following the way that God wants us to do things. Yeah, so that's why they're not having fulfilling relationships. They don't experience real love. So these couples here who are just like fornicating with one another, sleeping around with each other, if you look at their relationships, they're all short-term relationships. Yeah, the ones who are actually married, right, and who have actually done it the correct way, yeah, those relationships, it's funny how they are going for like 10 years, 20 years plus at a time. But you got all these ones here just breaking down within, a year or 2 years. These boyfriend, girlfriend, dirty fornication relationships. None of those relationships are following God's laws. Hence why they will never ever experience real love. Yeah, so a relationship which is built upon a bad seed, yeah, that relationship isn't going to blossom into a healthy, flower. Yeah, it was corrupted from the get-go. But a seed that's been planted in the soil, yeah, that's a good seed, and it's been, given the right nourishment and everything, yeah, and all the, water, sunlight, and so on, and then that seed ends up blossoming into a great flower. Yeah, it was because the way it started is how it finished. Yeah, so it's really important when you start a relationship, you always have God in mind. Yeah, and always looking at what God wants us to do. Yeah, things like marriage, right? Marriage hasn't come about by man. Yeah, it hasn't been created by man. It's been created by God. Yeah, for you to both be permissible to be together. Yeah, Because otherwise, if there was no marriage, you got people who are just going around sleeping with each other, saying, oh yeah, you know, you're my boyfriend or you're my girlfriend. It's disgusting behavior. That's what's happening. So final point is compatible. Yeah, a couple who has a high amount of compatibility, yeah, who get on, who have a similar type mindset towards several areas of life, yeah, who, you know, have, let's say, a similar sense of humor, they are, you know, happy together, they got good chemistry together, you know, things like that. So I'll give you that example of that couple there who was seen as abnormal because one guy's got a disability and then the other woman hasn't. But that couple there, they look really happy together. It's because they're compatible in other areas of life. So it's the other areas of life which are more important, yeah, rather than the superficial metrics, which society just literally deems upon people and puts all of this pressure on people to look a certain way. Yeah, so a certain way where that's why you got men and women both changing the way they look based off of what society deems as normal. That's why confidence is so attractive in today's society. Men especially in today's society lack confidence. I know certain guys, right, who are seen as, you know, external looks wise, look good looking. So certain guys, right, I've spoken to, they've got the external metrics, but then they're so hesitant, they're so scared to approach that woman that they're attracted to. They feel like they're not good enough for that woman. This is why women, you know, complain and say, oh yeah, men are not approaching us nowadays. Yeah, because you got guys like that, for example, who are literally, they don't have the confidence to approach a woman, even though they look externally like they've got stuff going for themselves. So just to wrap up, internal, yeah, that's what love, real love is. Internal is internal characteristics and internal traits within someone. That's how a person falls in love with someone. Yeah, so I gave you the example of a man, right, who gets with a woman and that woman's just got makeup on, she looks wise, you know, looks like she's got stuff going for herself. As soon as he gets into a relationship with her, she ends up giving him drama, headache, you know, stress, sucking him of his energy, taking him away from his purpose. You know, that guy there was just a mug because he ended up going with her because she looks wise, looked like she was good looking. And it's just vice versa when it comes to the woman. The woman just saw that guy, he's got money, he's got a status, he's got fame. She got with him, and then that guy over there was ended up cheating on her. You know, he's doing all types of other stupidness. No sense of humor, no class, no integrity. And then she's just sucking him of his money. You know, so those relationships end up, you know, deteriorating. Next point after that was hardships. Yeah, in hardships, right, all couples are going to experience hardships in life. Yeah, there's going to be ups, and there's going to be downs. There's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. Yeah, and you want a partner to stick through the hardships in life. Person who's going to stay there through who you are as a person, because the external things, they come and go. Yeah, money, status, fame, you know, what a person looks like. You know, you're going to get old. You know, a woman, she's looked at externally, she's going to get old as well. She's going to end up having children, and then her body's going to be different. You know, all these different things here, you know, this is what it is. So when guys are not prioritizing internal characteristics, and when they go through hardships, that's when they end up breaking down. And the next point after that was God. You know, God has laid out the laws on correct behavior when it comes to seeking a relationship. So when you are getting into a relationship and when you are in a relationship, you know, those things there. So before marriage and after marriage, God has laid out the pathway to follow and how to have a fulfilling relationship. You know? And the final point after that was compatible. You know, if the man and the woman are really compatible and then they're going against society's norms and expectations, who cares what society thinks? If they're both compatible with each other, they both get on with each other, they both, you know, are happy together, who cares what society thinks? That's how I've seen it in life. Like, just literally F society. That's the kind of mindset you need. You know, who cares what anybody else thinks? As long as you and your woman are happy, that's all that matters. Yeah. Don't look at what certain times what family says, what friends say, or what society says. Yeah, if you're following the deen side of it and you're following the correct way, and then you're following God's laws, yeah, and you're both happy together, then it doesn't matter what anybody else says. You understand? So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.